Now, welcome back in the third session of human reproduction, in which we will discuss about the gametogenesis, how the male and female gametes are formed inside the body. The gametogenesis is of two types in the human body. First is the male gametogenesis or spermatogenesis that takes place in the male body, and the female gametogenesis or oogenesis, that is the development of the female gametes or egg cells, takes place inside the female body. Here it is the male gametogenesis or spermatogenesis takes place inside the testes, and gametogenesis, either male or female gametogenesis, have three distinct phases. First is the multiplication phase, second is the growth phase, and third is the maturation phase. What are these phases? Actually, the multiplication phase is the phase in which the primordial cells, or in the male spermatogonial cells and in the female oogonial cells, undergoes repetitive mitotic divisions to produce more and more spermatogonial or oogonial cells. This is called the multiplication phase. So, in the multiplication phase, the spermatogonial cells inside the seminiferous tubules undergoes repetitive or consecutive mitotic divisions to produce more and more spermatogonial stem cells or spermatogonial cells. When we ask the stem cells, it means these cells are not undergo differentiation. It means these are not going to differentiate to perform a particular functions. They will divide and divide only. So, the spermatogonial stem cells either produce spermatogonial stem cells after division or produce spermatogonium. Spermatogonial cells, as contrary to the spermatogonial stem cells, are differentiated cells which undergo further mitotic division to produce the primary spermatocytes. Here the spermatogonial cells undergo mitotic division to produce the primary spermatocyte. This phase is called as growth phase. Now, one fact keep in your mind: the growth phase and multiplication phase, these two phases are concerned with the mitotic division only. It means during these two phases of the gametogenesis, either male gametogenesis or female gametogenesis, only and only mitosis takes place, meiosis is not taking place. After the growth phase, meiosis gets started in the process of gametogenesis, either male gametogenesis or in the female gametogenesis. So, during the growth phase, primary spermatocytes are produced, and after the growth phase, maturation phase gets started, and during the maturation phase, the primary spermatocyte undergoes the first meiotic division to produce haploid secondary spermatocyte. It means from the one primary spermatocyte, after the first meiotic division, two secondary spermatocytes are produced, and these two secondary spermatocytes are haploid in nature. These are the N, while this is the 2N. So, the primary spermatocyte is the 2N, while the secondary spermatocytes are the N or haploid in nature. Now, secondary spermatocytes undergoes second meiotic division to produce 4 spermatids. It means from one primary spermatocyte, 4 spermatids are produced by the help of two consecutive meiotic divisions, while first is the RD, reductional division, and second is the ED, equational division. So, here is the stage at which the spermatids are produced. Now, spermatids undergoes the differentiation by the help of the Sertoli cells or nurse cells. Sertoli cells or nurse cells are found inside the testicular lobules. Their cells provide nutrients to the developing spermatids or sperms. Now, after the differentiation, these spermatids are converted into sperms. Now, what is the difference between spermatids and sperms? Here, spermatids have no any tail region, while the sperms have the other tail regions. So finally, after the completion of these all three phases, from diploid spermatogonial stem cells, haploid sperm cells are produced. This is the male gametogenesis or spermatogenesis. Here it is the structure of the male gamete or sperm. Now look this diagram. It is the sperm, that is the main body or head region. This is the neck region, middle piece, and this is tail region. A sperm is specific in structure on the basis of certain characteristics. Firstly, the nucleus of the sperm is prominent. This is comparatively larger than other cells. In the head region, and another specific structure is found that is called as acrosome. This acrosome contains the lysozyme-like structures by the help of which a sperm penetrates the female gamete to fuse that. Now, in the middle piece, this is the spiral mitochondria. Actually, sperms are the movable structures. These can move from one place to another place. So, it requires more and more energy as compared to the other cells of the body. That's why for producing more energy, in the middle piece of the sperm, a spiral mitochondria are found. Now, it is the centriole. This is the tail region of the sperm by the help of which sperms can move and it changes its place from one point to the another point. So, it is the structure of the sperm. Now, female gametogenesis or oogenesis. Female gametogenesis has also three phases as like the male gametogenesis: multiplication phase, growth phase, and the maturation phase. Here the oogonial stem cells, as like the spermatogonial stem cells, undergoes the repetitive mitotic division to produce the primary oocyte or oogonial cells. Firstly, the oogonium stem cells divided mitotically to produce the oogonial cells, and oogonial cells further undergoes the mitotic division to produce the primary oocyte. Now, here the development of the or divisions, repetitive divisions of the oogonian stem cells and oogonial cells is considered as the multiplication phase, and when the primary oocyte is formed, growth phase will start. Growth phase of the female gametogenesis is much longer than that of the male gametogenesis. Actually, the male gametogenesis, the process of male gametogenesis starts at the onset of puberty of the male, while the female gametogenesis gets started in the body of embryo, female embryo, when that embryo is present in the mother womb. And at the birth of child, the primary oocyte gets developed, and from the birth of child till that onset of puberty, growth phase is occurred. So, the growth phase is of at least 10 to 12 years, and the primary oocyte is developing during this growth phase, and at the onset of puberty to the menopause, in each month or in each lunar month, we will discuss further about the lunar month when we study about the menstrual cycle. Now, in each lunar month, one secondary oocyte is developed by the process of meiotic division, and that is released from either ovary in alternate month. So, after the growth phase, at the onset of puberty, the primary oocyte undergoes the meiotic division to produce the secondary oocyte, and a very small first polar body. Then at the stage of secondary oocyte, ovulation takes place, and this secondary oocyte is getting released from the ovary to out when the mammary of the fallopian tubes catches, and inside the fallopian tube fertilization takes place. Meanwhile, the first polar body gets divided into two second polar body by the process of second meiotic division, and the secondary oocyte is divided into female gamete and the second polar body. It means finally from the one primary oocyte, three very small polar bodies are formed along with the one functional ovum or egg cell. Actually, after fertilization, the zygote is developed and the nourishment is provided by the cytoplasm of the egg cells. That's why the polar bodies are produced to provide the maximum cytoplasm to the egg cells, and these three polar bodies get degenerated. So, this is all about the female gametogenesis, and this is the structure of female gamete or egg cell. Egg cell is surrounded by so many accessory cells, and these accessory cells are collectively called as corona radiata, and inside the corona radiata, cell is surrounded by a structure that is called as zona pellucida, and inside the egg cell a prominent nucleus is found. Here it is another structure of the egg cell. So, this is all about the male and female gametogenesis, and after that in the next session we will study about the menstrual cycle. Thank you.